introduce you all. All right. All right, so welcome you HCC Eagles is what I like to say. Listen, y'all, today is definitely a great day to be able to kind of get a little bit more information about the things that are going on around our different campuses, around the city. And we want to make sure that y'all get a chance to be able to learn about this information and also be able to ask any questions that you want to ask. So this is definitely a relaxed time. It's definitely a moment in which you can be able to just absorb the information that somebody's going to be able to give you. But before we even get started, I want to make sure y'all know I am Carl Mays, Student Life Coordinator at the Central Campus. I am joined by my sister from another mister, Miss Ashley Rhodes, Student Life Coordinator at the Northeast Campus. And she's going to make sure she gets a chance to be able to take over. And I want to make sure y'all do me a favor and allow her to do her thing. Miss Ashley, go ahead and do your thing.
Hello, Eagles. How are you all? So you guys have been with us all week long. We are ending out the week with our Eagle Chat series with HCC PD. They have a wealth of knowledge. They come to give you some information to keep you and I safe while we're here on campus at all of our HCC campuses. So I want to introduce to you Officer Carter, who's going to be talking about just what HCC PD does and how they protect us and exactly how they are involved with the community here at HCC. So I'm going to hand it over to Officer Carter to introduce herself.
How you doing? I'm Officer Carter. I'm the new community service liaison for our police department here. I've been a police officer for almost 20 years. I've worked here at HCC for 25 years. My skills and my experiences is basically dealing with the public as well as dealing with any type of crime that basically has been around. Like I said, 16 years here in the police department, 18 years total as an officer. So a lot of experience working at 2 different agencies, dealing with the community events, dealing with crime and stuff like that. So wide variety of experience dealing with law enforcement.
It's cool being. So I know we have a couple of questions that we definitely want to ask you, and we know that you got the information to definitely answer all those questions. But one of these questions is how does a student report crime? Like, how do they report something going on campus?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. We have I'm going to actually show you guys an actual slide that I have available where information that you can actually use to report a crime. If in case something actually happen, we have our 713-718-8888 number, which is our dispatch number. If you're inside of one of our facilities, schools, that is a landline, you can dial 5 8s at one time, and that will take you directly to our dispatch as well. And then also another way of communicating with us or keeping up with this is our HCC email address as well. But in regards to reporting a crime, you will always want to call. If you're here on HCC's property, you want to call our police department, which is our dispatch. And like I said, it will be at the 713-718-8888 number. That's going to go straight to dispatch. You're going to give them the type of a crime that's being occurring. You can also give them all the information that you basically can: when, what, where, how. Make sure you be as clear as you possibly can. Make sure you describe everything in the full details of telling them what's exactly going on. Once you make that phone call to our dispatch then will radio the officer that's in that area and send that officer out there to basically to meet up with you or deal with the actual crime that's being involved. So that's how you will be able to report it by landline. If you're here at the Central Campus or any campus, at all of our campuses, we have a police office. You can always go to any front desk and ask to speak to a police officer as well. It doesn't make a difference what location you're located at. We have a police office or we have a security on campus, so you can report a crime or issue or something you have going on at one of our locations, okay?
Perfect. So definitely got that information on how you can report that. So always remember 713-718-8888 or 5 8s if you're at a landline on the campus. One thing, we hate to say it, but it happens. Harassment happens. Students harass each other. Can you talk about what should a student do if they're being harassed by someone on campus? And then also second part to that question, if it's social media harassment that's happening on campus, how do they report that? What do they need to do?
It will be the same identical thing. They will call dispatch and actually report that. Unfortunately, it's a situation where, we have people that come from different parts of the country, different parts of the city, and you come to and you're in class. Let's say you just actually in class, and there's a person that's harassing you, constantly touching you, or constantly saying something to you, derogatory or disrespectful, or whatever deal is, or it basically making you feel uncomfortable in the surrounding that you're in. We're basically come to work into school to basically learn and to be a professional. So we're not coming to work to be harassed and treated disrespectfully or anything like that. If someone is actually harassing you, you have the right to call our police department and file a complaint, and our officer will actually come out and talk with you and discuss the situation of the type of harassment it is. Same thing with social media. Social media, you can file a complaint, file a case, actually, make a complaint with the police department with social media as well. So all of those things will have to be investigated, and they'll be investigated either by officer or our CID, which is our crime investigation department.
Okay. One thing that we are seeing out here on the news, we're hearing about it. And now that school has started back up for college students, as well as high school students, elementary students, active shooter. So, if an active shooting happens on this campus, what are we supposed to do? We know students sign in new student orientation about, carry and gun carry, but what happens if an active shooter comes onto one of these campuses? What are we to do?
That is a good question. So part of my new role is doing active shooters presentations, which eventually, when things kind of start going back to a face-to-face process, this presentation is going to be actually given out across HCC as a whole. So we want to make sure that students, staff, faculty, everyone that's employed by our college, and everyone that's coming to our property, students or otherwise, knowing what to do in case of an active shooter. Unfortunately, we are in a time where active shooting, that's been happening. We have no control over. We don't know how many we're going to have. We never have any notices on them, but it happens. Unfortunately, when it happens, it's chaos across the board. Someone hearing multiple shots being fired, people screaming, so people panic. The first thing I do want to tell anybody to do is to try to stay calm. Stay calm, find a place to hide. If you're hearing gunshots, find a place to hide. Find a place to get out of the shots where shots are being fired. If someone is injured, if you can assist them, then you assist them. But if you cannot, you have to leave them. So I have a presentation, actual video that I'm going to show a little later on in our process that we're doing here today to kind of give you a little information on what to do in case of an active shooter. So the active shooter, the first thing we have is things called run, hide, and fight. The run, hide, and fight is the three things we want you to use. If you hear gunshots, we want you to run. If you can't run, we want you to hide. And if you can't hide, then we want you to have to fight to get out of the situation. But the main thing we want you to do is A, be calm. 2, report it to the police department and give us as much detail, like I said, what you see, how you see it, how many you see, what's going on, what color they have on, what type of hair. Be descriptive as much as you possibly can, because we are on the outside and your information that you provide us helps us come to the actual threat.
Great. Thanks. Great information. So students are parking everywhere. We have several parking lots across campus. I'm parking everywhere. Where can I find parking? During the summer, we didn't have that many students. Now everybody is back on campus and we're shuffling for something that's close. So where should students park and where they won't get a ticket and that they can make sure that their car is not going to be towed? So where are they supposed to park?
That is a very good question. And a lot of what that question I always say, read the signage. If the sign says faculty and staff, that does not mean students. If the sign says reserved parking, that does not mean student. So if you're not paying for that spot, do not park in that spot. And that goes for faculty, staff and students. If you see a reserved spot, please do not park in that parking spot. Because if you do, you will be towed at your expense. And it is expensive. It's over $200. Yeah. So yes, ma'am, it's over $200. So be advised of this. If we have a sign that says student parking, and you are a student, that's where you can park at. Number two, if you're a faculty and it says faculty and staff, that does not mean students. So what we want you to do is be aware of the signage. Now, we are given a little grace period, about a week or two, beginning of school, to let you kind of get adjusted to, hey, this is new for me, but after the second week and you parked in faculty and you're a student, you're subject to tow or a ticket. And we are going to be giving tickets out. So, and this is not something that's going to be removed, because guess what? Everybody can read. This is what we're here for. This is our education.
Glad you brought up the process of tickets. So if they get a ticket, what do they do? Where do they go? Like, I don't just throw it in the back seat.
No.
What do they do?
If you throw it in the back seat, when you get ready to get your transcripts or try to apply for any type of assistance or try to register again, guess what? You're probably not going to be able to do that, because we're going to flag your account. All right, so do pay your tickets. So it's a parts on our on the student area where you can go into and actually we have a parking area. So you have to go in actually HCC and go into the parking, and it'll show you how to go about taking care of that. But right now, keep in mind that we're being lax. They made the administration and the command staff may decide to stretch it a little bit longer, but we don't know. But what I do want to tell you, certain areas, for example, at Stafford, the Stafford area, the front parking lot is specific for staff and faculty only. We have several big lots that's at Stafford that you can park that says student parking. A lot of times students come in, they think during the summer, I parked up here because I went in to register, but keep in mind, we're now in session. So you need to park in any area that says student parking. If it takes you driving around, and I mean driving around to find a parking spot, that's what you're going to have to do. Because again, we have ample amount of spaces for our students, but we have faculty and staff that do need their parking spaces as well.
Great, perfect. I'm going to take that into account, because I am probably one of those people who are probably parking in a spot that I'm not supposed to park in, and I am thinking, so I'm going to make sure after this week, I will not do that. I will park where you tell me to park.
And the main thing with that is, you guys, is the actual reserve spots. These are people that's paying for their actual reserve spots. So just like being at your house, when you drive up in your driveway at your home, that's your reserve spot. You don't expect for your neighbor to block your parking, your entry into your driveway. So it's the same identical thing. And by them paying for their spot, they feel that they have the right to tow you. But the best part about everything, you guys, the sign says reserve parking, and if you will be towed at your expense. So it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And we have had many people say, well, I park right here, but my car is gone. And then, and I'm like, okay, well, let's read the sign that says reserve parking. And well, I didn't know that, but the sign says reserve parking. I mean, and again, we are police officers. Don't get us wrong. We try to have a little sense of humor, or be, compassionate towards the individual, that, because it's a scary thing to walk out and your car is not parked where you left it. But at the same time frame, we are adults, so we need to use, skills that we have to understand that if it says don't park, and your car will be towed. And unfortunately, we have people that we have had to give escorts down to the place to pick up their cars for $200 some more, unfortunately.
It's a lot of cabbage. Well, you're talking about cars. And so I just want to ask this question, because we have it every year. We've been in this COVID world, so students, staff, faculty really have not been on campus. But let's say a student locks their keys in their car. Well, I'm just going to call HCC PD at 888-888 and have them come open my car door. Can y'all do that?
No, we're not doing that anymore. So, not trying to be funny or anything, we used to provide that service several years ago, and it became to a situation where, unfortunately, people cars was getting damaged, and of course, we had to pay for people cars to get fixed, and certain things like that. So now what we do is we do have a service by the name of Fast Tow that we can call at your expense. So the college doesn't provide and don't take care of the actual fee and that's the same thing. And if you have a flat tire, or your car need a jump, or your battery is not working or whatever, or even like back to the keys, unfortunately, we are not taking that expense anymore. We're putting it back off on the person that's actually needs services. But we do have the service that dispatch can provide at the owner's expense.
Got it. Good. That's good to know. So students know, hold on to those keys. Don't lock them in your car, because
Definitely.
again, it's going to be at your expense to be able to get them out of there.
Yes.
So we're back on campus. We're back in session, as you say. Classes are going till 9 p.m. at night. The time is changing. It's getting late. I mean, here at the Northline campus where I'm at today, we have a parking garage, and our parking garage is not close to the building that we are at.
Exactly.
I don't feel comfortable walking to my car by myself. Do you all help with that? What can HCC PD do?
Yes, definitely 100%. So what we do want you to know is that in the situation where you ever need a actual escort, we actually have something that we can do for you. And that's, I'm going to find that's going to slide right here. It's talking about our escorts. So basically, we don't want you guys walking any distance. We're talking about Northline. It could be Stafford. It could be any location that you're located. If you're a female or a male that don't feel comfortable walking from one place to another, by all means, utilize our police department. By all means, call the 888 number or the 713-718 and ask for 888 number and ask for an officer to give you your escort. That is free of charge. It's something we do. It's part of what we do as here at HCC. We want to keep everyone safe. Another thing too is walking. If you are together and you guys are coming out and you're in class and you guys are exiting class and it's a group of you guys, try to walk in an actual group. The other thing dealing with walking and being safe on campus, some locations, are close by. Some locations are not close by, but regardless of if they're close or not, understand this, that if you ever feel that you are not safe or you feel uncomfortable or you just not with, walking, throughout the campus without someone being with you, then definitely I'll always call the police department and ask for an escort. But there's some things I want to tell everyone about also, and I'm gonna go to that slide in just a second. Let me find it real quick. And it's basically talking about being safe when you're walking on campus. And it's basically about paying attention to your awareness, paying attention to your environment, paying attention to your surroundings. Be always understanding in your mind that somebody is always watching you. That's something that I don't care if you're at the restaurant, at the mall, at the grocery store, someone is going to look at you at one point in time throughout your day. So keep in mind somebody's watching you, but you always want to walk out of a place and make a 360-degree turn around, walk around, and start looking at certain things that may be a problem. If you see a group of, if you're a young lady and you're walking, you see a group of guys standing over in a bush or something like that, it's probably when you want to take the time out and call HCC police and have us come escort you. If you're walking around and you see a person that just seems out of place, then give us a call. So all of these escort things kind of work hand in hand with walking alone, walking in groups, and paying a 360-degree turn to see what your surrounding is and noticing things that seems out of place. But by all means, if you need an escort, the escorts will be provided to you. You can either be transported in the vehicle or you can be escorted by foot.
I've actually used it as a staff member because there are times when I work late on campus and our parking lot for staff is not so close, to the building, like it's a distance away. Exactly. And so I've actually asked, hey, can you all walk me to my car? I'm parked across the street, and they definitely will. So I really love that we have that service for staff, faculty, and students. To
anyone that y'all safety is our number one concern.
And one thing I want to reiterate that Officer Carter did state, if you see something, say something. We have, and I know, and this is at each campus I've been to. I've been at the Central campus. I have been at Stafford. I have been here Northeast. You guys, there are officers all around. And if you see something, say something. They are patrolling in the cars and they got the lights going. They're walking, they're on bikes. Definitely say something. If you see something that's not too right, or you feel it in your gut, it's not, say something to them. They do not mind.
Exactly. And the other thing with that as well is that keep in mind, not only with you're seeing something, but if you hear something, and you know something, then we need for you to say something. Because a lot of people don't understand that, you know, with conversations that you're having, people are having, and now that we're back face to face, you know, you can hear a conversation of someone talking about doing something criminally, or, you know, something that's deadly, or something dealing with active shooters, or something dealing with harming someone. If you hear in that conversation, that's something that we need for you guys to call us and talk to us about and let us investigate it, because it could be us stopping an actual crime taking place. And if you know of something going down and you just know this individual got something he's planning or plotting, we need for you guys to say something to us. But if we have a moment, I want to go back to those videos, because kind of give you a little idea about what we're talking about when it talks about active shooters. So let me go back to this one, and we're going to play this one here, okay? Give me a second. I'm kind of new to this world. And keep in mind, before we get started, anything that says Ohio State, we're talking about HCC PD, HCC legal Eagle Alert, or anything that's dealing with Ohio State, we'll refer it back to HCC.
I think the sound is out.
Or if you can, on the share screen, make sure you when you're sharing the video, then click the little sound button at the bottom left hand corner of that box. So hit your stop share right quick.
Where about?
So you stop sharing at the top, I think it is. Just stop sharing the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, now go back to share screen.
Okay.
And then at the bottom left hand corner, when you click on the video, bottom left hand corner, make sure you hit share sound as well.
Okay, there we go. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Go back. What was we? This one.
Once notified, police will immediately respond. When a Buckeye alert is issued, the first message you receive may be generic in order to inform you of an unfolding emergency as quickly as possible. More information, including a location, will be shared soon. Even those not in the same area or building may be asked to shelter in place. Get to an interior room and lock doors or barricade doors, if possible. Text loved ones to let them know you're okay. Avoid dialing 911 simply for information. Dispatchers will be busy taking emergency calls from victims and witnesses. Updates will be shared via Buckeye Alert or on the emergency.osu.edu website. If you're outside, be aware of your surroundings and evacuate the area or seek shelter. More detailed information will be shared soon. Remember the run, hide, fight motto. The option you choose will be heavily dependent on where you are and your proximity to the attacker. Hopefully you've already prepared or at least thought about how you would do all three. If you see the attacker or know they're in the area, your first option is to run. Escape the area. If exiting through doorways or hallways appears unsafe, you may be able to escape through a window. You may have to break the glass. Find a heavy object and stand clear. Place clothing or other material over the broken glass to prevent cuts or injuries, or scrape it away before climbing through. Get as far away as possible and dial 911 to report what you saw and heard. If you feel, given the information known at the time, that hiding or barricading yourself is your best option, try to find a nearby room. Don't worry about securing the building's main entrance or exterior doors. If the door to the room you're hiding in does not lock, block or barricade doors. Use furniture, a belt, or extension cord to secure doorways. Utilize anything that makes it harder for the attacker to find you or get to you. If furniture can't be moved or the door can't be locked where you are, you may choose to hide in another room if it is safe to move. Turn out lights and silence your cell phone to make it harder for the attacker to find you. Only open the door for law enforcement.
Police!
If you're unsure if the individual is an officer, call 911 to confirm the officers are at your location. Make sure you tell the 911 operator you are on Ohio State's campus. Fighting is always your last resort, but may become necessary, so you should prepare. While in hiding or behind a barricade, look for things you can use as weapons and prepare a plan should the attacker gain entrance, forcing you to fight. Spreading out and using the distraction technique will make it more difficult for an attacker to target you and may allow for an escape opportunity. If the attacker enters the room, throw books, bags, and other objects to disorient the attacker. If necessary, swarm the attacker as a group. Grab onto arms and legs. If the weapon comes free, kick it away or put it in a trash can away from the attacker. A group can incapacitate the attacker and take them to the ground. Police are on the way. Restrain the attacker until they arrive.
So this is the things that we wanted to talk about when we talked about active shooter. Last but not least is one more video that we need to watch.
Your decision to run, hide, or fight is based on the information you know and your proximity to danger. Stay informed via the Buckeye Alert system.
HCC alert.
While we want you to make decisions for your own safety, we also hope that you have the safety of your fellow Buckeyes in mind.
HCC alert.
Do not take actions that would jeopardize the safety of others around
Faculty
you.
and staff.
We encourage faculty to dedicate a few minutes on the first day of classes to watch our surviving an active shooter video. Have a conversation with your class about what to do in an emergency and point out the exits or escape routes. Discuss ways to secure or barricade the room. Most importantly, have an emergency plan and be prepared.
And last but not
Your
least,
decision to run, hide, or fight is based on the information you know and your proximity to danger. Stay informed.
sorry about that. I think it's going to be this one.
Your decision to run, hide, or fight is based on the information you know and your proximity to danger. Stay informed via the Buckeye Alert system.
I think we already went over that one. So at the end of the day, what we want to do is make sure that you guys are aware of what we actually have available. So we definitely have active shooter training that's going to be coming available for all of our staff, faculty, and our employees as well. So students as well. So we're going to try to get everything together so we can start making everyone aware of what's going on when it comes down to active shooters. But these are some videos I wanted to show you guys so you can have a little idea and a mindset in case something does actually take place.
Nice. I think we hit the nail on the head. This might come to a point, and Ms. Ash, you think to be to ask the students if they want to ask questions?
Yeah, students that are here, do you guys have any questions for Officer Carter? If you do, you can actually unmute yourself and ask that question.
Or if you can, that reaction button at the bottom of the screen, click on reactions and then do the raise your hand button. We definitely want to hear from you all because we know there's a lot of questions around that.
Any questions, or maybe we hit, what we
Right.
went over some important questions and you gave all the information. Any
Awesome.
questions?
Somebody say something?
I say, I'm hoping I hit everything that everybody want to know about it. But if they have any questions and they want to get some information, like I say, go up to any officer at any location. We're police officers, but we're people as well. So and we have a job to do. Our job is to serve and protect you guys. And part of us being police officers is serving. So that's what we will do. If you have any type of questions and you want to know about something, or you just, want some information, if you see an officer, take the time out to say hello to them and ask them the questions. And if you don't see one, like I said, you can go to any campus at the front desk and ask to speak to an officer, and we're available for you.
You guys have been really amazing. I've been seeing you guys on campus a lot more, just with tabling events and kind of getting into the community of HCC and letting students, like you just said, know, yes, you all are police officers, but you're also people too. And I think just that introduction and that visual that you guys are giving definitely are making students feel a lot more safe, and that you guys are so visible to us and definitely are here to help us. So we love it. Our students have absolutely loved it. They stop at the table and talk to the officers all the time.
Well, I'll tell you what, is one last thing I want to push and show. I'm actually kind of proud of this thing myself, and that is going to be, we have as of October the 4th is our National Night Out, guys. This is something that we're pushing across HCC. Ashley talked about the tables that we have had out and available. You probably have seen a bunch of these blue flyers. This is my baby. This is the first annual National Night Out for the police department. We will be moving around to different campuses throughout the years that's coming, the upcoming years. But this particular first year we're having it, we're going to have it here at the police department, because we want you guys to be aware of where we're located at. We're kind of doing like a soft opening, just bring awareness to the community as well as HCC staff, faculty, and students. So you guys will probably be getting a blast from Student Life pretty soon, telling you guys we're going to be advertising and pushing it. Hey, we're going to have food, we're going to have snacks, we're going to have cookies, cakes, hot dogs, Frito pies. We're going to have snow cones, popcorn. We're going to give the community as well as our faculty, staff, and students the opportunity to compete against the police. We're going to have a little obstacle course, a little relay. We want to have like maybe some Connect 4 and Django, the little big blocks of Django. We're gonna have music. Carl is gonna be our DJ. He's gonna be hyping things up real big and strong. What the whole purpose of National Night Out is that we want you guys to know, yes, we wear this uniform. Yes, we wear a gun belt. Yes, we have a gun on our hip. But guess what? We just regular people. So we want to have a little laid back environment where you guys can laugh and have fun and get to know us as officers, and we can get to know you guys. But at the same time frame, we want to build a community relationships with outside people that's outside of HCC, as well as the people that's inside of HCC. At the end of the day, we are HCC proud, and we are a family, and we want you guys to come out and hang out with us and have a lot of fun. Everything is free, but it will be a blast. It is my first time. I told Carl that I've never been a planner, but thank God that he's given me the ability to make this thing happen. And
that's right.
And people like Carl have helped us create this whole process, and we want you guys to come out. It's going to be a blast. And again, October the 4th at the police station, 3821 Caroline, from 5 to 9 p.m. And we are going to have a ball. We're going to have HPD out here as well, Metro Police Department. We're going to have the fire department. Kids will be able to take pictures on the fire truck, as well as the ambulance, and as well as the officers of motorcycles. We're going to have the Metro K9 dog out. So we're going to have a lot of different vendors. We have some vendors by the name of Be Safe. They'll be passing out locks for your guns to keep the guns safe. We will have the city of Houston coming out to do COVID-19 tests, as well as vaccinations and boosters. We have a lot of wide variety of vendors that we're going to also pushing all of our programs that we have here at HCC as well. So you guys come out and hang out with us on October the 4th.
I can't wait, because I saw the flyer yesterday. You said you talked about the flyer, because the flyer is circulating. It is around. I was at the Northeast campus yesterday, the Learning Hub, and then we were looking at the flyers yesterday, and students were picking them up. So yes, it is circulating, and students are going to know.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm
Very
here.
Excited about it.
We're here for it.
Yeah. So listen, students, I want y'all to make sure y'all do me a favor. On that reaction button, those hand claps, I need y'all to click on them. We want to make sure we give our guest for this Eagle Chat, Officer Carter. Y'all give a round of applause, please. Put those in the, there you go. That's what I like to see. Make sure y'all click those little hand claps. That's how we do our virtual hand claps, just so that you know. And as you see in the notes, they say thank you. But we want to say y'all continue to be able to bring the questions, and go ahead and close this out, Ash.
Thank y'all so much, Eagles, for being here with us again. This is not the end of being here with Student Life. We have several virtual events, and now that we're on campus, you definitely can see us on campus. Also, check out our Eagle Experience page. You can do that at hccs.presence.io/events, and you can see every event that's happening on campus as well as virtually. So we hope to see you guys next week, because we got a whole nother week full of events for you guys. All right, have a good one.
That's right. We'll see you guys.